Did you know that 41% of Americans believe in ghosts? And that 20% of Americans believe that they have also had personal encounters with them. So who's to say what is science and what is fiction? Most people believe that an Ouija board is the most effective form of communication between the living and the dead. This famous YouTuber Jason has claimed to have encountered ghosts while playing around with an Ouija board with his friends. They didn't close out the session afterwards, and he claims to have been haunted by that ghost up until the point where he decided to move. To help me evaluate Jason's claim, I used Richard Paul and Linda Elder's Guide for Critical Thinking, The Elements of Thought. The purpose behind the use of an Ouija board is to communicate with ghosts and spirits. The question at hand is, are Ouija boards really reliable and able to help people communicate with the dead? Or are people just moving the plachet in order to convince others that they have experienced the paranormal? The evidence used is pertained through experiences and observations and countless videos on YouTube of people sharing their supposed encounters. I also decided to lead my own investigation. A friend and I found an Ouija board and took it to the supposedly haunted Central Park. We did our research and gathered up some candles. Our sources said to use a white candle to remove negative energy, a blue candle to open up lines of communication, and a black candle to protect yourselves from negative spirits. And since black may also be used to attract good spirits, we also set the Ouija board on a black welcome mat in hopes of making a spirit more inclined to reveal themselves and communicate with us. Here is some footage of how that went. Hello, I'm Megan, and this is Justice.
Hello.
Is there anybody who would want to speak with us? Yes or no? Would anybody like to communicate with us? We tried for over 30 minutes, but the plachet never moved. One interesting thing that did happen, though, was 2 lights over top of us went out. But I wouldn't be so quick to say that the only logical reason that the lights went out was because of us experimenting with an Ouija board. This is more likely to be the product of pure coincidence. Many of the lights around us were flickering before we even started. The timing could have just been perfect for those 2 lights to have cut out. However, many believers would probably conclude that the lights flickering before we started was a sign of ghosts being present in the area. However, by doing a quick Google search, you can see that there are a variety of non-supernatural reasons as to why a light may flicker. How each person may interpret the situation depends on what types of assumptions that they may have surrounding the topic. Since Central Park is known to be haunted due to the witch's tree, people are more open to the idea that something paranormal may be at play. So we repeated the experiment at a storage warehouse that my investigation partner works at, a place that neither of us have known to have been haunted. Hello, I'm Megan and this is Justice. Is there anybody out there that would like to speak with us? As you can see, nothing happened after yet another 30 minutes of us trying, and this time no lights flickered either. If we are to come to the conclusion that the lights flickering at Central Park was indeed a ghost trying to communicate with us, and that Ouija boards are reliable sources of communication between the living and the dead, that opens up the door to reevaluate everything we know to be true about science and the supernatural. When conducting my paranormal investigation, I try my best to ignore all of my personal beliefs in order to stay open-minded to anything that I may experience throughout my experiment, as well as staying clear-minded and exercising my critical thinking skills in order to not jump to any hasty conclusions that I may have come in contact with a ghost. Unfortunately, there is no way to know for sure whether the lights cutting off was pure coincidence or if a ghost had been trying to make contact with me. However, I do know that it's going to take a lot more than that to convince me that I have experienced the paranormal. Someone who may want to investigate further may grab a larger group of people and go out and investigate with an Ouija board themselves. They say that the more people you have with touching the Ouija board, the more power it gives to the ghost to be able to communicate with our world. However, having more people touch an Ouija board also leaves more room for human interference, so just make sure that you trust whoever you're doing it with, and don't forget to say goodbye.